Welcome to the Fire Center, everybody. Tonight is something that I've been working on for a long time, so I'm really excited to be here and to present it to you. Who was in my AI class a couple weeks ago? Get them out of the room. So some of this might be a little bit of a recap. Some of it I think you're going to like because I've polished it a little bit, and some of the stuff that when I did a tech demo in that class that didn't work the way it was supposed to, I fixed it. So, all right. You guys ready to talk about AI? Good. So, again, I've been, as I kind of started off this, my AI class, when I was a kid, okay, I was a huge nerd, okay? And if you want to know how big of a nerd I was, I used to go in early. My dad would leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was the kid that wanted to go to school early. So I would leave with my dad at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd go to school and hang out in the computer lab with the computer teacher, fixing all the computers, okay? And I built my first computer when I was in like 5th grade. So, and I used to, that excitement that I had as a, 10-year-old, 12-year-old, something like that, to be able to go to school early to work on computers, that excitement, I didn't have anything like that probably until AI came around. AI was like the first thing since I was a little kid that the first time I sat down and used ChatGPT, I was like, holy shit. Like this is all of it all over again. So, and I know some of you probably maybe feel the same way or you're maybe rolling your eyes a little bit. But it really is like this stuff, and I know people talk about it. I know there's like a big boom going on with it. But it's very helpful. It's very exciting. But there's also some ground rules on how to use it. Okay. So what I do use it for is I really just like all the ideas, all the chaos in the business or like stuff that I used to take me, hours to do. A lot of it with the club, where I used to, and every email or like Facebook post or whatever, I'd sit there for like way longer than I should have and typed all this stuff out by hand. I used AI a lot for that now. So the main point of it is like to turn the stuff that's, is to be a tool, okay? This isn't to like replace your decision making, okay? So like the big thing is like there's, if you're gonna use it, if you are working on something and it like starts taking you longer to do that thing with AI because it's just not cooperating, okay, to do it the old-fashioned way, just jump out and do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, you can spend a lot of time like trying to get AI to do something for you that you could have been done already. So be aware of that. Okay, it does have a tendency sometimes to hallucinate. Okay, and it'll pull something from something else, and we're gonna some of these tools I'm gonna show you guys have made that less likely, but it still could happen. Okay, the other one there is like know yourself. Okay, know that like. You, okay? AI was built to please us. So a lot of times when you're talking to it, it'll tell you, oh, that's a great idea. You're so smart. Oh, yeah, why don't you do that? Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's a great idea. And it's just fluffing you up, right? Nobody likes to be surrounded. Well, some people like to be surrounded by a bunch of yes men, but you shouldn't like to be surrounded by a lot of yes men. Just people telling you yes, and never telling you like when you're wrong, okay? It might make you feel good, but at a certain point, you might realize that all those people are just not doing you any favors, okay? So don't let AI be that yes man for you. And then the other one is for Chen. I use Pro on everything, okay? I pay for Pro, all right? If you want to use this stuff like to the best of its ability, it's $25 for Pro on ChatGPT a month, okay? There are or Google Gemini or any of the other tools. For what this stuff can do for you, it is nothing, okay? So if you're trying to get away with the free version on this stuff, now look, I use plenty of free stuff, okay? Anybody use Asana or Trello or any of those other things? I just went down a rabbit hole with Asana where I was like starting off on a free plan with Asana, and then it tried to kick me over. And long story short, I ended up switching to Trello, okay? So because Trello lets you have 3 people in there without paying for it, all right? So yes, I am cheap on some things, all right? But on ChatGPT, Gemini, and all that stuff, I highly recommend you guys use the pro version of everything, okay? It's going to lock like the better reasoning. You can do more research with it. Or if you're just going to use the tools that I'm going to show you today as part of Fire AI, you can probably get away with the free version, okay? But if you want to dive a little bit deeper and really use its capabilities, get Pro. You sold yet? No? You want me to keep going on using Pro? You guys are tired tonight. So the main thing here, guys, is I use it as a tool to like augment my thinking, okay? I do not use it as a crutch. I am not trying to get AI to make decisions for me, okay? I'm trying to use it to make better decisions for myself, okay? I'm judging it when I'm looking at what it's spitting out, like I'm making the final decision. You should be too. Okay, again, this is not to replace you or your thinking. It's to make it stronger, clearer, faster. Okay? Any questions? Okay. All right, now get a drum roll. Come on, come on. All right. So this is the official launch. And yes, that was made with AI. It gave me a little snaggle tooth there. My teeth are straighter than that, I swear. So, all right, and then there's not just one, all right? So I started out when I was doing this, I just called it Fire AI. And there was just going to be one thing that I was going to try and like bundle all the stuff I wanted it to do in the one module, okay? But now it's an entire suite of tools. It's not just one, all right? And we're going to go into a few of them. And again, just a reminder, this is designed to augment your thinking, okay, and your decision making and your strategy and your execution. It is not meant to like do the deal for you. Okay? Someday we might get to that, and once we get to that, it's going to be really hard to find deals. Okay? I kind of a tangent here, but that's what I'm known for, right? I was watching a YouTube video on some guys that pretty high level guys, and they think with AI and some of the basic income and all that stuff that's coming, you got 5 years. You got 5 years to build up your portfolio, to start buying assets. If you want to like make it in real estate, you got 5 years to make it happen, because after that, the regulations of where some of the stuff on wholesaling and subject twos and all of the the people cracking down on that stuff, and then all of the stuff that AI is going to enable on some of the stuff we're going to touch on, but it's going to be a different game in 5 years, and it's going to be a harder game in 5 years when somebody can just click a button, sell my house for cash, and then AI does it all for them, and just they get the money deposited into their account. Okay, whether or not that's going to happen in 5 years, I don't know. But it's going to happen pretty soon. So, all right. First up, so the biggest thing that is the struggle with AI, is you guys probably experienced this before, is learning how to prompt it, okay? So if you just walk in there and go, write me this email, what happens? It just starts spitting out like the same thing it wrote you for the last 5 emails, right? So the better way to do this is to prompt it. So if you want to write a specific, I want you to research the specific, the days on market in Ontario, okay? Instead of just using that basic prompt that most people would put in, you want to do it in a craft style, okay? And craft means context, role, action, format, and target, okay? And you'll see, this was part of the class I spent an hour on, okay? So I'm just going to kind of do the quick overview here today. The point of this one, so this particular version or this particular module of Fire AI, is that you don't have to learn how to do this manually. You just go in and click it, and it'll build you a prompt, okay? It'll build you a whole prompt. And instead of just saying, I want the days on market for Ontario, it'll set up something like, the context is that, ChatGPT, you are now a market forecasting expert, and you know everything about days on market. You think like a a high-level agent of 30 years, whatever, and it'll put all that out for you, okay? And then, sorry, I jumped to the role part a little bit. The action will tell you exactly like what you want it to put out, okay? The format as well, and then the target, like who's the audience of who you're going to be talking to, okay? So, and I know this is hard to explain without seeing it in action, but instead of a 3-line prompt that says, give me the whatever, it'll be a like paragraph this big of very specific instructions, which then basically makes the program think better. Okay, so you guys have to try some of this out on your own. I'm gonna give. I'm basically going over it. I'm gonna give you examples of this one. This one was a little hard to give you an example of, but the point of this one is that this is where you're gonna start. Okay, so when you want to make ChatGPT work better for you, you're gonna come in here. So again, instead of just like the 1-line prompt, you're gonna come in here and go, I need to write a listing for my rental. Okay, and instead of it popping out stuff like, oh, the ambient light fills the room from the natural windows, and the same thing you read on every other agent's listing site. Okay, this one's when you do it with this first, you'll get better responses from it. Okay, and you're just gonna have to trust me on this because I don't have time to do full demos tonight and squeeze an 8-hour class into an hour. All right. The next one here is the listing engine. Okay, so this is really a lot. This will be really helpful for a lot of you agents or you landlords to do listings. So either listings on the MLS or listings for rent. It's already pre-programmed with that craft prompt in it, and I tweaked it a lot. Okay, and also gave it some better ways to copyright. Essentially, for those of you who don't know what copywriting is. It's how you write copy in like a professional sense. There's an entire industry built around copywriting that isn't doing too well because of AI, but there's an entire industry around it, okay? There's SEO strategies involved, and then there's like different narrative frameworks on like how you present good copy. You make people, you pull people in with a hook and all that stuff, okay? So it's trained to do that for you. So you literally just give it all of your parameters as far as it's a 3-2 bedroom. You tell it some stuff that like is good about the house, and it'll spit out the entire thing for you. Okay. Anybody think that'll help them out? Yeah. So those are the two most basic ones. The next one, which I freaking love this thing, is called the Book Forge. Okay. And the Book Forge. So who's got a stack of books that they're definitely going to read? Okay. Who's got multiple stacks of books? In different rooms? You got the ones downstairs next to your couch, you're like, I'm definitely going to read those, right? Or the ones in your bathroom. Or not necessarily that you're going to read it or like you don't have time to read it, but who started a book, got about halfway through, and just the author, just the way it was written, whatever, it just wasn't really like grabbing you, and you kind of got maybe a few things. Anybody? Yeah, me too. That happens all the time. So, or you just get busy, and then by the time you go back to reread the book, you got to start over because you forgot the first few chapters already. So the Book Forge is meant to anybody use Blinkist? Okay, Cliff Notes, Spark Notes, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like that, but it's interactive. Okay, so instead of just like getting the the Spark Notes or the Blink or whatever it is, and having that like one little like thing that outlines the books, you can interact with it. Okay, and it's also trained. So basically it takes these books and it puts out like a summary of it. It boils down it kind of strips out all the stories and the metaphors and all that, and boils it down to what the lesson is. Okay, so it kind of gives you that, and then I have it. I specifically had it set up to like tell me what this means to me as a real estate investor. Okay, not just anybody reading the book. And some of these, yes, are real estate related. Obviously, like some of these ones in the middle. But there's also these things up here. Okay, which are all about like the cycles of history and fiat currencies, all kinds of stuff. Okay. And then the ones on the right there are more like, some kind of like mindset stuff too. So this can do anything. It can do fiction. It can do whatever you want to throw at it. Okay. And the biggest thing that I like is I'll show you guys here. So the biggest thing I like, I don't know if you can see all the text. But the biggest thing is that you can take these three, so I did it with this, right? These 5 books right here. you can take these 5 books, you can interact with them individually, and then you can meld them together. Like, okay, take those. So up here, that's the one. So that's from the dealing with the changing world order. So that's just that one book. It just kind of gives you like, and that's not, you'll see the number 5 there, meaning it gave me like, there's like 8 other things on there for that one book, right? So it'll print out the entire book, and then you go say, give me the next one, and it'll do the same thing, okay? And then you can read through each individual book, and then you can say, well, what one sentence unifies all of those books, okay? So for these periods of instability hide risk, periods of transition reveal it, and human behavior during both is far more consistent than we'd like to admit. And then like why this matters, okay? Even if you did nothing with this knowledge, it changes how you interpret it. So these books aren't like really meant to, and then this thing over here, what's this really teaching you? These books really aren't, like these particular books aren't, they're not trying to like predict the future and tell you exactly what to do. They're telling you they're trying to explain to you like how to see what's happening around you and interpret it for yourself and what it means in your life, okay? So that's just those 5 books, all right? And I boiled those down, and you can spend 2 hours, and I'm not saying this is like a complete substitution for reading, okay? I still think it's important to read. If you have that time to get to, this is an augmentation to be able to strip that book down to the lessons, and if you see like something, oh, I like that, or I want to know more about that, you go to the book, okay? Yes? How do you get the book up? So when you hit start, you literally go, you load into this, you press start, okay, and then it asks you what book you want it to do. And you just type in the book. You type in the book, you type in the author, and it pulls the whole thing. Yep. I don't have the books in there, no. Nope, I wish I had all those books, but nope. Nope, it just pulls from wherever it pulls from. So, and I haven't been able to play around with this one as much as I'd like, but I haven't thrown a book at it yet that it didn't pull from. Okay? If you have the PDFs of the book, the digital versions of the book, and you can load it, you can attach it in there, and that probably wouldn't hurt. All right? Yeah, right. You do that too. So that one's really cool. That's like for non-real estate related, just in general, like knowledge stuff, like that one. This one's like my favorite so far. So next up is the long-term rental analysis. Anybody have long-term rentals or want to own a long-term rental? Anybody? A few of you? I don't know why the rest of you are here if your hand's not up. So this one is designed to like how I look at a property for a long-term rental. Okay, so I literally like copied. I wrote down how I would analyze a long-term rental, and then built that prompt and built this one to act like that. Okay, I run things conservatively. I run comps conservatively. I run cash flow conservatively. Okay, I leave myself room for error. Okay, this is only for long-term rental. Okay, this isn't. You could probably ask it questions like, what if I did this as a short-term rental, or what if I did this as a pad split, or whatever, and it would probably start working for you and telling you some of what you want to know, but it's not designed for that. It's designed specifically for long-term rentals, okay? Single-family long-term rentals. So it's pretty easy. Again, on all of these, when you load them up, all you got to do is press the start button. And if you don't see the start button, just type in start and hit enter, okay? And it'll give you the directions on what it needs to get started. There is a thing, just so you guys know, if you're on these on a desktop, there will be a button that says get started, okay?